situated. Sleeves are being rolled up in this one, okay? Are you situated? All right. All right. All right. All right. I believe this one's going to be called I Just Got a Text from My Ex. But new number, who this? Who this? Okay? Okay? I just got a text from my ex. Who new number, who this? Damn, I need to drink coffee ASAP now. Come on. I'm losing subscribers as we speak because everyone's more grabbing of the attention. But anyway, if you haven't already, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that little heart that I guess is the like button or the love button. I don't really know. Seems like the thumbs up button is kind of passive aggressive. Like, why won't you just love it if you like it? Just me? Okay, whatever. If you do that, then more people, the algorithm will be kind to me. And then the algorithm will show my videos to other people, and then I'll matter to the world. I'm kidding, okay? I just got a text from my ex, but new number or new phone, who this, okay? And this is where I feel like the Lord is wanting to show you the confidence that he is building in you. It is not a confidence in self, as in self, ability, skill, being able to see and discern and, all the things that we've looked to ourselves to be confident in, but it's this confidence that he is forging in you about who you really are. I believe the Holy Spirit gave it to me like this. You think of the testings of God. Well, let's put a new perspective on this. Think that when you begin a testing of God, you're going to fail. You're going to get like a 60% or something, right? But it is on God, it is his faithfulness that in time he will get you to 100. So you will begin at 60 or whatever the failing grade is, and he in his faithfulness, like proofing something, like strengthening the integrity of a bridge by pointing out the cracks with each test and sealing those cracks, right? Making the integrity of the bridge stronger and stronger. You're meant to fail the test until you pass the test. Now, what is the test? Well, the test seems to be, from what is coming to me now, is, are you going to be true to you? Having known the truth, walking with God, you being true to you. That's the test. I know it's like, no, you can't be true to you. You got to follow God. It's like, I don't think they're so different, friend. Think of it like this, friend. Okay, can I call you friend? I'm calling you friend. All right. You are walking with someone who knows who you are becoming. And so the tests and the trials is only to the effect of bringing you into who you are becoming. So you're walking with him. He already knows who you are to the fullest measure. But you are coming to know who you are in him. The more you come to know who you are in him, the greater your test results will be. Of course, you're going to fail the test, meaning you're going to do something that if you had all of the knowledge of who you were, you wouldn't do it. So you're going to behave differently. And you could say that as failing a test, but really you're missing the mark because you yourself don't know where you are and who you are. But it seems to be on God and his faithfulness in the testing, in the trials, where it's all leading to you becoming more confident in who you are. The version of you that he knows that you already are, the version of you that you are becoming. And so the more you become confident in the version that you are becoming, the greater your test results will be. Because it's just, I hit 100 because now my yes is my yes. My no is my no. I know about how I tick. I know about how the Lord sees me. I have received confidence in that place because he took me from 60 to 100, right? Because he seemed to be the only one who knew who I was, right? And to walk with God is walking with someone who already knows who you are fully. The most realized, authentic version of you, the free version of you. And so all of the testings and the trials and stuff, it's just getting you to that end. I believe that was a big segue, but we're going to come back to it. Just let me pour my coffee for a second here. I just got a text from my ex. That makes me think of like Drake or something, right? From the late 2010s video or song. He just got a text from his ex. What do you do with that? You've ever gotten a text from your ex? You don't know how to respond? Is he still interested? I don't know. But this is where I'm going to take it a different way. We can look at, because you've heard it like this maybe, the devil will send you counterfeits. A counterfeit for God sending you the real thing. We're talking about it in terms of like a romantic partner, a spouse, right? The devil will send you a counterfeit before God sends you the real thing. Don't fall for the counterfeit. Don't settle for the counterfeit, right? And there's this fear around that word. Well, I feel like this is where the Lord is like, no, this is where I allow the devil to send a counterfeit so I can show you the confidence that I've put in you. Maybe before, in a previous season, you would have been deceived and you would have fell and you would have stayed with this counterfeit. But I actually allow the counterfeit to show up in your life to actually show you the work that I've been doing in you as you've been walking with me and becoming more confident in who you are becoming, the most realized, authentic version of you. So the counterfeit is not a bad thing. It's actually showing you that you're getting greater test results because of his faithfulness. Ooh, I like that. I ain't heard that before, huh? So these things are not bad. I don't like words that are like something about the devil and don't fall for it or whatever, right? It's like, well, that doesn't seem like there's a very confident person, right? It seems like someone who is riddled with fear and in doubt. But God will bring up the fear. He will bring up the doubt. This is what will be in the cracks. This will be the cracks in the bridge. And as he grows the integrity of that bridge, meaning he seals the cracks so that more weight can be supported on it, right? The doubts and the fears have to come up. Oh, we have to expose the cracks. But he is working on you, right? With the end of being like, I'm not worried about this counterfeit coming to you. In fact, I'm allowing this counterfeit to come to you, right? I'm allowing you to, in a sense, get a text from your ex, right? And then I'm looking at you and seeing what you're going to do. And the test is not, are you going to, turn this person away, right? Or are you going to bring them back? But the test is, and this is a test where God already knows our test results because of the work that he's been doing in us. He's like, I want to show you that you're more confident. You're not going to get a 60 this time. You're going to get a 75. All right. And then the next time you're going to get an 80 and then an 85 and then so forth until you get to 100. And 100 is fully confident, not scared, no longer riddled with doubt and fear about the devil sending the next thing, the next booby trap to catch you off guard, where you miss your promise, right? Where you miss the chance to have your breakthrough or whatever. All right. God doesn't seem to be worried like that. We have picked up that worry, but allow that worry, that doubt, that fear to be sifted out of you, right? Like the metal that's being heated up to such a certain degree that the impurities rise to the surface. It is good that these impurities rise to the surface so that they are dealt with, so that your perspective becomes more clear, so you can see the truth and respond from knowing that truth. You start to see in him the confidence that he has. You start to see in him by faith, the confidence that he has about you and himself in getting you to the most realist, authentic version of you, where then you're no longer worried about the counterfeit. But it's okay if you are worried about the counterfeit coming, because that's where you are, right? But the more you walk with him, the more you will receive this confidence that it's like he allows these things to come into my life for actually to show me where he has put confidence. He allows these things to come into my life that seem to be detours, that seem to be, traps of the enemy, to actually show me that I can't be trapped, right? To show me that it is his power, and by his power, I'll get there, right? I cannot be delayed any more than he has allowed me to already be delayed. I know it's crazy, right? Because it really just puts us into a weak position, right? But in this weak position, coming to know of your weakness in him, surrender to his power, to his strength, you get sent down the river, right? And down the river of who you are becoming, so that your test results become better. You can't get better at the tests quicker than he is allowing you to, because it's not the work of your hands, it's the work of his, right? You're already going to do what you're already going to do. But what you're going to do is going to change over time as you become more confident in who you really are. And because of who you really are, you will know what you really want. So you'll be able to spot a counterfeit and say, I don't know, that doesn't seem quite right. There's a little bit of heaviness on that. There's not a lightness in that. There's not a joy in that. I've been living in the light with the Lord, and now this thing comes in, and it's presenting itself as being something of light. And I know, like, you kind of have to go through it. It's not this thing where I think you can spot it right away. But it's this thing that, in my own personal experience, I feel like I've looked back on and said, you got me through that, but I definitely responded differently in this situation than I would have had in a couple of years ago. Right? A couple of years ago, I'll get a text from my ex, and boom, you like me again? I'm in your life. Let's go. Where are we going? I'll be your NPC again. Whatever. You want to paint me like a Ken doll or something? Right? You want to put clothes on me, and I got nowhere to be. I got nowhere to be. I got no life. I got nothing. Let's go. Let's go. Swept off. Because why? I was always going to score 60%. Because I didn't know who I was, because it wasn't time for me to know who I was, because I wasn't walking with God for very long. But the more I'm walking with, I feel like it just sounded like Boston or something. The more that I've been walking with God, he's actually doing a work. And that work is making me see who I'm becoming, right? By faith, and I'm becoming confident in that version of me. So now what I want is changing over time. So you get a text from your ex, it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily like your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend or whatever. Like, we could be talking about the ex anything. These old things that you thought the door was shut on, follow me. The old things that you thought the door was shut on because you thought in some way you participated in shutting the door and closing the door. Now the door is reopened. Oh, the devil's opened that door. Now I have to declare that door is shut. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. That doesn't sound like a very confident version of you. Sounds like a self-confidence or something, right? Sounds like you're trying to be strong in a place of being weak. This is just what I think, all right? It's my opinion. Maybe. But the Lord seems to have different plans for whenever counterfeits come in, whenever these booby traps come in, when these delays come in. And it's actually to show us that he's been working, that he has been faithful at preparing us and molding us and getting us to the versions of us, the versions of ourselves that he's seen all along. The version without the shadows, because it'll be in the shadows you have the doubt and the fear, the confusion. This is where you're likely to be deceived about yourself. This is where you're likely to fall for a counterfeit. But if you fall for a counterfeit, that's not really your fault. That's just where you are, right? That's where you are. But by the faithfulness of God, you're like, okay, we got a 60% that last time, but this next time this comes around, the same the X is not just the person, but the X is the old mindset that thinks that it's going to drag you back into the old past. It's like, well, oh, bet. Let this thing come up. Let me show you that you're going to be a little bit more confident this time. Let me show you that you're going to be a little bit more, you're going to respond differently this time. Not because I'm looking to you to respond differently and that's passing the test or failing the test. I'm not looking to you to respond differently. All right? I know how you're going to respond because I know of the deep work that I've been doing in you. The deep work that I've been doing in you, I am confident in how you are going to respond. You're not going to just get 100 right away because you're not just able to see yourself clearly right away. You are adjusting to 2020 vision. You do not know. You are coming to know. It takes time to come to know the truth about yourself. But I think this is where God's like, I'm giving you confidence. I am giving you confidence so that when your ex does text back, you don't feel like it's a door that you have to shut, but that you see that you are no longer how you used to be. And so the door has already been shut. You can't return back to a version of you from before because the version of you now is a more realized, confident version of who you've always been. Meaning you can't really go back to the darkness the same way once light exposes the darkness, because the darkness is just the absence of light. So when light comes in, it shows you that now you can see. Once you can see, those doors are shut. You can't go back to being deceived in the same way once the exposure has happened. Once you're shown that you've been deceived, once you receive the grace to know the truth, to allow the light to come in, and now you were walking with God, he's like, I'm going to show you the truth. I'm going to bring the light. And in me bringing the light and showing you the truth, I shut doors that no man can reopen. But I'm going to allow this thing to creep up from your past to show you just how shut the door really is. Because you don't know you have confidence until you see it in you. And I don't want you to just see it once. I want you to see it twice. I want you to see it over and over and over. Because I'm proofing this thing. I'm getting us to 100. It's way better, man. It's a way better word than the words. I can't stand these things. They seem good because it gives you like a spear to put in your hand to fight the enemy or something. So you feel like you're doing something, right? And then you can measure yourself according to how well you use the spear against the enemy or whatever. But it's not very good because it lacks confidence. It lacks knowing the work of God that he does by his power in your weakness, right? You cannot know yourself unless you go to God. This is where you are weak. You cannot discover who you are apart from him because you are in him. Because the version of you that's the most realist, authentic version is the version that he sees. It's not the version that you have seen. The version that you have seen gets the test score of 60, right? Because you're doing what you wouldn't do if you knew the version of him, which is the 100. If you knew how much he knew you, and you knew the version of you that he knows, you wouldn't fall for any counterfeits. You would be confident. You would have no reason to not be confident. But it's the doubt, it's the fear, it's the uncertainty, it's the confusion, it's these things that are able to be propped up in the dark. They're able to hide in the dark. But once the light starts to come on, I can't snap with my left hand, even though I'm left-handed. I know. Anyway, once the light starts to come on, that's the door being shut. And so allow the text from your ex to come. And then that initial fear is going to happen of how do I respond? And maybe this thing is going to drag me back, right? Or I'm starting to feel this old shame again on me, right? Or I'm starting to feel these old feelings that I used to have and I haven't had them in a long time. And now I feel like I'm supposed to do something. And it's like, no, not really. I believe that the Lord is allowing that to happen to actually show you his faithfulness and the work that he has done in your life. He's not just going to show you once because you don't need to see it once. You need to see it over and over and over until you are convinced. Until you are convinced of his faithfulness about you. Because that's also, I think, who you are. You are his love for you, and his love for you is faithful. And so for you to know his love for you that is faithful is to know a version of you that is safe, right? And so let the text happen, right? Let the text happen. Talk to your ex if you want to. You're going to find a different version of you talking to them. Maybe not at first, but I swear it will happen. Because God seems to be confident in the work of his hands. When we walk with him, it is the work of his hands that is getting us to the place that we need to be. It's not the work of ours. We are participants. We are co-laborers in a way. There are processes that he allows us to go through, but it is by his power, it is by his spirit that we are becoming. So you're going to get a 60%, you're going to get a 75%, but then you're going to get better scores as you walk this thing out. And what helps you get better scores is him allowing the enemy to send counterfeits and all these things. It seems like the enemy can't help himself, and the Lord just plays off of that greed. He's like, all right, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Because I'm confident in the work that I've done in this person, where now I'm signing off on you sending a counterfeit to them. Because I want to show them that it's not a door they have to shut for themselves. Because now they're more confident in who they are in me. That doesn't require them to feel like they have to make the right decision. But those that love me, I work everything out for good. Now, how well do you know that? How well have you been convinced of that? Well, let me send this your way and send this your way. And oh, here's another delay, right? Oh, you thought we were just going to get straight there? Here, we're going to take the scenic route. But in the scenic route, you're going to become more confident in the one who's taking you on the journey. And that's what you need. You don't need to become more confident in the steps, right? In the work of your hands. You don't need the self-confidence. Self looking at self doesn't know the self in God. You need to know the one version of you that he's always seen. The version without the shadows. So eventually, right? And God will be like, yeah, he'll flex on you, right? As you flex on your ex. Everybody's flexing everybody, but your ex is not getting anything back. She's fine. She can, it's okay. Because you're like, oh no, I got a text from my ex. What do I do? And you're a praying person now. You go to God, hey, crickets, or maybe he'll tell you something or whatever, right? But I think in a lot of ways, he's just taking a step back, and he's just like, all right, I know the work that I've done in this person, but they don't know the work that I've done in them. So it's going to be a surprise that they stumble upon as they realize in communication with this person, right? Or this old feeling coming into their life, or whatever old thing that comes with an accusation that's going to pull you back into the darkness or whatever, right? I'm going to step back and I'm going to be like, I'm confident in the work of my hands. This person is going to respond differently. And then they're going to realize, I've changed a little bit. I'm not who I was before. I'm not acting and responding like who I was before. Because God has walked with me. And God has met me where I was. And he has taken me to a new place. And he continues to take me to new places. And the new places are the places that have more light, more illumination. Because in more illumination and more light, the more you'll be able to see clearly him and yourself. When you can see him more clearly and you can see yourself more clearly, you will have confidence. Oh, that's not me. That's not me. I can't be deceived like that before. But no shade to the former version of me. That person just didn't know himself yet. He didn't know. He didn't know what he had. The Lord had not done the work in him. He was always going to get 60%. That's where you begin. You begin by failing. But then you end up passing. So it's like, I just got a text from my ex and you respond, oh, sorry, new phone, who this? New phone, who this? And it's basically just like, it kind of sounds arrogant, but it's the confidence. New phone, new contacts, new battery life, new beginnings, right? Forget the former things. I'm shutting the door on the former things. You will not be able to return to the former things, because the former things were only the things that you were in because of the measure of darkness that was there. It was the absence of light. But the new things will come with greater illumination. Greater illumination will make them new. And in that, you will see, oh, I'm new. So now I'm having a different reaction to my ex coming back that I didn't have before, because there's now a greater measure of light. I can see myself a little bit more clearly. I'm not going to get 60% on the test. I'm going to get 75. I'm going to get 80, whatever. So I'm like, allow it to happen. I think it has to happen for you to see the confidence that he has put in you, right? Because otherwise, we're just going to have to be, and this is like a popular thing, just always on watch, looking out for the devil to do the next thing, and then we want to be like steps ahead of the devil. But the devil's never going to stop, really. I mean, I don't think. But I feel like the Lord's like, well, this is to our advantage. We can be very strategic with his approach, because the more I work on you and the more he comes against you, and the more testing and the trial that happens because he's coming against you, you're going to see the work that I've done in you, and then you're going to know of the confidence in that work. So then you're going to become more confident as you go through these things. Oh, God already shut that door. Not even I can open that, because I can't go back to a former version of myself. That former version of myself didn't know himself the way I know myself now. And because of that, it shows me the work of his hands that got me from I didn't know myself to now I know myself a little bit better. And because I know myself a little bit better, I'm now confident, more confident in who I am. So let the counterfeit come. Okay? All right? Oh, I don't know. Is this from God? Is this not from God? I don't know, man. Play the tape forward a little bit, and you'll see that you know what you're going to get in the long run, more than just a spouse. You're going to become confident in who you are. Be confident in the work of God's hands. Be confident in his faithfulness about you. Because it's not like you're just like, oh no, yeah, that's a counterfeit. I'm confident. It's like, no, you like wrestle with it. Because it like stretches you. So you're just like, I don't know. It seems so real. God, is this from you? Is it not from you? And I don't think that he just gives you direct answers right away, but instead has you walk it out, right? Walk it out by faith, where you're just like, oh, like, because you think that if you can't see and you don't know what the right answer is, then you're just going to be like put to shame, and you're going to be thrown back into the darkness or whatever. But that's the fear. That's the doubt, right? That's the stuff that comes against you. Those are the accusations. But the truth is, he's like, no, I'm going to allow you to walk through this darkness, not knowing what's what, right? So that when you come out on the other side, you're more confident in the faithfulness of my hands, the work of my hands that got you through, where you couldn't see for yourself and you didn't know what the right answer was. You're like, damn, I responded in a way that I didn't have not responded before. Why? Why is that? Well, it's because God has done a work in you. God has done a work in you, and the devil sending a counterfeit or a delay or an old feeling or whatever is only showing you more about the work that he's done in you. But I think that we can be afraid, and I understand why, and we don't want to look at it. So we just try to put these blinders up. But I think there's grace to actually take off the blinders and just look at what you're seeing, and you will see it in a new way because you are new. So you won't have the same reaction that you had before. You won't have to try to manually shut the door again. I don't want you to manually shut doors. I don't want you to try to keep doors shut. I want you to know the confidence of God about you, and the word that says, when I shut the door, no man can open it. And what I open up, no man can shut. And I think this has to do with light. Once the light comes in and exposes the darkness, it's no longer dark anymore. You can't go back to how it was dark before. But you trying, I might just be where you are. So you got a 60%. Now you're going to try to go back to the darkness, or you're going to let yourself go and see if you end up back in the darkness. And you're going to find out you didn't get back to the darkness, right? You're going to feel like you don't have the strength to manually shut the door. You're going to feel scared about that because you had the strength to shut the door before. But that's where you scored a 60% because you were looking to your own self-confidence. And now God has you in a season where you don't have the strength to know and the strength to shut the door manually and to keep the blinders up. You know why? Because you're about to score a 75, friend. As you see that wasn't necessary. Your efforts were not necessary because he already had a way out for you. He already knew the way for you. And he knew that what you were going to receive on the other side was a greater confidence in who you are. So let the exes text, man. Drake's fine. We'll be okay. It's like, all right. And then you're just like, you get swept back into the whole thing. You're like, oh, do I like this person? Do I not like this person? I don't know. And it's just like, just keep walking, bro. I'm telling you. Or sister. Whatever. Brothers and sisters. Strange. Keep walking, okay? And you're going to find, oh, damn. Okay. I thought I was going to respond like I responded before, but then I just took a moment. And I was like, I'm not even praying about this the same way. I'm not even going to God and asking for help in the same way. I'm not the same. He has done a work in me. And the more you see that it's not just one work, because it's not going to just take one test to have you convinced of who you are. It's going to take test after test after test. It's going to be more proofing and more proofing and more proofing. Not so that you become enough, so that you see that you've always been enough. You've always been whole in him. And the confidence that comes from always being whole in him is going to have you spotting counterfeits and X's all over the place. What are you coming with? You're like, oh, no, I just want to. You're just like, I don't think I want a life like that, all right? That looked like some clean water, but I'm looking at it a little bit closer, and that water'd be dirty, bro. And I don't want no dirty water at this point. Dirty water used to be clean water whenever I was living in like a pig pen, because that's all I thought was deserving for me, was living in a pig pen. So any kind of water was good water. But nah, bro, he has showed me clearer water than that. And so now I'm looking at that and I'm like, I don't know, man, that might be some clear water right there, but let me get a little bit closer. Shit, I don't know, man. There's some dirty, there's this kind of dirty, this kind of cloudy water right there. I don't know if I want that. And God's like looking at you like, are you about to drink that right now? But he's like smiling because he's just like, I know you're not about to drink that right now. Why? Because I've done a work in you. Because your standards have been raised. You're no longer willing to go back to a bondage of slavery. You have been set free. You have become more confident in the work of my hands. You're not returning back to a place of bondage. You're not going back to your ex. Maybe you are, because maybe your ex has changed or whatever, but you know what I mean. Right? The old things. New phone, who dis? All right? Okay. Okay? So if your ex texts today, you're going to be all right. Promise you. Even if you respond like, oh, I miss you too so much. You think you're going to be swept away in that again? Let's find out. Let's find out how confident God is about the work that he's done in you, that you have to kind of discover by surprise as you're just like, oh shit, like, just kind of shut your mouth. You're just like, okay. I even got swayed, right? He had the boombox outside the window. He had the flowers. He had the promises. I was like, I'm going back, God, because I can't be here. And he's like, go. And then you just started to see the cracks of that. This guy's 401k ain't even there, bro. His credit score way low. probably lives in his car. All right. Couldn't see that before because you were swept away by all of the charming words. But now it don't hit for you like that no more. But you need to see it don't hit for you like that no more. All right. You need to see what he already sees, and that it's not going to hit for you like that no more. Okay, I'm done, I think, for real.